Merch Minds Podcast episode 129. My name is Glenn. This is Young.
Hello, sir.
And you know what? I just want to I was thinking about this before we even start. We kind of jinxed ourselves with like NBA Finals by having Canadians as our guests. And
I'm
then
not.
now
No.
Raptors won. So, like,
No. See, I'm not. I see. Look, I'm a better person than that. I'm not gonna blame them. Okay. It was due to injuries, man. Okay.
um,
I'm not gonna blame our guest for the loss.
look.
First of all, what's this we, man? You don't even live in the Bay Area. What's this we? I thought you were a damn Lakers fan.
I am a Lakers fan. We just got Anthony
Where's this?
Davis. I'm
Where's this
pumped.
we coming from?
I'm pumped.
You over here talking like you're the assistant coach or something.
I meant
Nah,
we as
man,
in me and you. I mean, we
dude,
were like,
it was the injuries, man. It was the injuries, and this is what I said. I don't mind the loss. Okay, it was seeing Clay Thompson go down. That really, really broke my heart. Oh man, that was sad. When I saw him go down and grab his knee, man, you just had to feel for him, man. I cringed and I was just like, ah. And then
you,
when I
you
saw,
knew it too by the way he landed.
yeah, it was an awkward land, but I've seen worse. But then I saw him come out of the locker room. And I was like, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe he's going to stay in the game. But sure enough, they took him back after the free throws. The next day, he had an MRI. Sure enough, he tore his ACL. Um, the guy's going to be out for most of next season from
Hmm.
from what the experts are saying. Kevin Durant, we already know he's not playing next year.
Yeah.
Um, Steve Kerr did call me up though, man. He asked me if I'm available. I said no. I'm sticking with my podcast career. But yeah, like I said, I can take the loss, but it was the injuries. The injuries were brutal.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh
bad.
my gosh. But speaking of your Lakers, yeah, so they just signed Anthony Davis. Now the experts are claiming that they're the favorites to win the NBA championship. What do you
The-
think?
they have no one. They have like six people on their roster, so Lakers still have a lot of work to do. Um,
They do have a lot of work to do. But I don't know, man. Those two. LeBron and Anthony Davis. Those two big guys in the lineup. Um, that does help.
yeah, they kept Kyle Kuzma, so now I think they're trying to get another big free agent, and let's see what happens. So
Yeah. So it'll be an interesting offseason. Um, and we'll see how that pans out next year. I think as far as you know what, let's get into our numbers first, okay? Let's get into our numbers first. You want to start us off?
all right, merch numbers. Last 7 days, products sold 78, two returns, and estimated royalties $240.89.
So it's gone up.
It's gone up a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I think if we get closer to 250, then that's like what, the thousand for the month. So it has gone up.
Okay. My last 7 days, 84 products sold, two returns, estimated royalties, $309.55. So mine has gone down compared to last week. I'm down about maybe $40. Um, so we'll see. Again, I love merch. And I've said this 1,000 times. I will never quit merch unless they kick me off. But it's not what it used to be. It's definitely much harder, uh, and the game has completely changed. And we'll talk about that more here in a second. Did we talk about the zip hoodie that was launched last week?
Yes,
Well,
we did. We covered all news.
okay, so that was last week.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, let's see. So over the weekend, I uploaded around 500 designs. Well, I shouldn't say 500 designs. Well,
500
yeah, yeah,
product.
yeah.
Products.
500 products over the weekend on merch. Um, that new batch uploader on merch. I really like it. You still have to do some work, But
Small details in there that you have to
yeah, but
continue
it
to
really does
input.
speed up the whole process instead of doing it one by one. So if you're like Glenn and you haven't uploaded in a while, I would say at least go in there and play with it because you will save some significant time. And Glenn, I encourage you, seriously, right? All jokes aside, I encourage you, man, especially with all these new products. I mean, you told me last week, that was exciting news. So why don't you take the time and go in there and maybe explore a little bit with a new dashboard?
Explore a little bit more, mess around a little bit, mess around, get a triple double.
Yeah, man. He's trying to sound like your Draymond or something. Um,
You.
but let's see. But as far as KDP, I have not uploaded any more designs. Um, Not because I don't want to. Again, it's just I haven't had the time. But Neil, you guys know where this is going.
I,
Neil from Merch Informer and Book Bolt, he just released his automation software. Um, so I don't know if you guys seen the demo, it will save you guys some significant time. It's just a matter of creating an Excel spreadsheet, saving it as a CSV file, and then uploading it. Again, this probably won't make sense. You just have to watch the tutorial on how to do it. Um, but the new automator is out, so that's exciting. That will speed up the process for KDP uploading. So I'm really excited about that. Anything going on with you, man?
I think I think it's kind of weird because we did a podcast episode. We were late the last one, so now we're kind of early for the well, not early, but on time for
On
this.
time. So it seems like we've been just putting out content for you guys.
Like we
Like
just covered everything nonstop.
yeah, it's all good though, man. It's all good.
I did see though that Neil posted if he gets a certain amount of likes that RJ will do a video on BookBolt automation. So we're let's see what happens.
I'm trying to think if RJ already done that video or not. I
He
don't.
probably already did.
I think he
Well,
did already.
I,
Yeah, because I
he
remember he
probably
was.
did it even before Neil posted to do it.
Yeah, because I remember RJ went live yesterday, and I was able to watch for a quick couple of minutes.
And if
Um,
someone asked for Yang to do a BookBolt video
I'll do one, but it'll probably be like 2 years from now.
2 years from
I swear to God, man. Look, how many times have I talked about doing a video?
now. All right. Well, maybe that one's next. What about KDP though? Can you say anything about numbers wise, like up
Um,
or down, or is it kind of the same as far as like money bringing in?
right. So I'm up to about, and this is just based on averages. I'm probably gonna close out the month around $150. Again, I know based on the amount of journals that I have live, I should be doing a lot more. Clearly, I'm doing something wrong. But here's the thing. I've said this 1,000 times. I'm not trying to compare my business or my journey to someone else's, right? In fact, that's the last thing you should do in any business. Don't ever compare yourself to someone else because that's what's going to ruin you. That's what's going to ruin your career. I'm doing it the way that I want to. Clearly, it's not the proper way of doing it, but I am making some money. Um, but not the money that I want to make,
Well, you're
right?
putting the designs that you already had from the shirts onto this. And I think if you were doing, all original designs really for that and just focusing on that and not even looking at merch, and then vice versa. Like if you were all in on merch and not doing anything KDP and just really dedicating the time and effort for a t-shirt design,
Mhm.
I think the number is going to be different all around. Like depends whatever they're doing, whatever
True,
platform they're into,
true.
like it takes the dedication and time and effort.
Right. No, absolutely. And you're right. I don't know if you saw my post the other day, right? I posted a check that I
Oh yeah,
had
I did see that.
okay. And the reason I'm sharing the story is because like Glenn said, my attention, my focus hasn't been on KDP at all. Right. I mean, it just is very sporadic for me. It comes and goes, right? Um, But a couple of days ago, I posted a check in the Merch Minds Facebook group. It was a check from a local startup company. They're paying me a certain amount of money to do their website, and in my opinion, it's a large sum of money. Um, but it was just me sharing what the grind. If you go out there and just actually do the work, what that can what you can get in return, right? It was me to just try to motivate people. This is what can happen if you go, regardless of whether you're doing merch, KDP, I don't care, freaking eBay, FBA, right? As long as you put the work in, you're gonna see results. And the check that I posted, it was just one of four checks. It was for $1,250, right? That was
Yeah.
just one of two checks. I'll be getting three more checks from them here eventually. Um, Again, it was just to motivate people, um, and and that's where my focus has been. It hasn't been on KDP, right? It's been on going out there and getting new clients and doing more web work, kind of going back to the basics. Um, so yeah, so my focus hasn't been on KDP hardly ever. Like I said, it just kind of comes and goes. Um, I probably haven't uploaded anything new in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. No,
So,
makes sense.
but yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. If I was to put more time and effort into it, I'm sure I would see some significant results.
Yeah.
Um, but speaking of going back to the basics, we have a really cool guest today. Uh, Her name is Danielle. I don't want to pronounce her last name because I probably butcher it, but she is a super cool a graphic designer. Does some really cool work, really good work in my opinion. And Yeah, so we're going back to the basics. We're talking about design, and so we're going to talk to Danielle. All right, guys, we're taking it back to the basics. We are talking design, and we have an awesome guest today. We have Mrs. Danielle Podeszek. Did I pronounce
Podeszek.
that right?
That's pretty close.
Okay, you told me like 20 seconds ago, and I forgot already.
That's all right.
How do you pronounce it?
Podeszek.
Podeszek. Good God. Okay, Podeszek. Um, Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Um, I've been following you on Instagram for about a year now, I think, and I've been watching you. I've been watching you, and you're putting out some good work. Uh, Want to give yourself a quick introduction about who you are, where you're from, what you do, and all that.
Sure. Danielle, I live in Buffalo, New York. Been a graphic designer. I went to school RIT in Rochester. Been a graphic designer ever since. That was 2011. I graduated. Worked at a bunch of different ad agencies. Worked for New Era Cap. Worked for the Buffalo Bills, and now I'm out on my own.
Okay. Wow. So you have uh, a very a very nice resume there, um, especially working for the Bills and all that. Before we get into the actual interview, um, since we're officially Facebook friends now,
Yes.
what is a ultra runner?
Anyone who runs longer than 26.2 miles.
Within how many days?
Oh, however long it takes you. I mean, usually, well, one time usually. So usually,
Okay.
marathon is 26.2. So anything
Right.
over 26.2 is technically an ultra marathon.
Okay. So let me rephrase that. How often do you run, and how many miles do you typically run in a week?
Well, I just had a baby, so I will not. My mileage is not what it used to be. But last Saturday I did 33 miles. I have a 100-mile race coming up in August.
You okay?
100.
Say that again. You ran how many miles last Saturday?
33.
30. What the hell is the matter with us, Glenn?
We're just sitting here doing the podcast. That's what's going on.
What the hell? Well, congratulations on the baby. I think that's great. So going back to design, so one thing that I when I was in what conference was that? It was RJ's conference in Los Angeles. I think it was last year, Marcella, and they had invited me to talk, and my talk at that particular conference was about um, not all design has to be very sophisticated.
Hmm.
And going through your Instagram, I've noticed a lot of your designs are very basic, but they're clean and they're really good. When next, maybe talk about your style and all that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I definitely over the last few years have really taken on a style, and my freelance has picked up because of that. I think once same thing with merch. Once you niche down, it's people see your particular style that they're interested in. They know what they're going to get because things are similar. But I really just like I get a lot of inspiration from vintage retro stuff, and I just
Yeah,
love that clean, simple, timeless. Something that's still going to look good 20 years from now, ideally, and
right.
that's the kind of stuff I love making.
Uh-huh. And like Danielle said, that's one thing that I was gonna say. Her work is very retro, very vintage. If you guys do want to check out her work, please check out what's your Instagram handle?
Pod Design Shop.
Pod Design Shop. And we'll have that in the show notes. Glenn, did you have any questions?
And they can also go to daniellepod.dunked.com. Is that
Yep.
right?
Yep,
Okay.
that's my website.
Okay. I was looking at packaging. There's like a like James Harden collection that have like hats and New
Yeah.
Era.
Yep, did that new era. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So how long? What did you do for New Era? Is that like a freelance thing, or you were there like
No, I was
full
there
time?
full time for a short period of time. More in their marketing department, so I did like social media graphics, and then we did some packaging, catalog stuff like that. So not the actual caps, but all the supporting graphics.
Definitely. So I think if someone's trying to get into graphic design, were you in this situation for the most part to where like it started off with design, next thing you know is like, hey, can you do this marketing stuff? Can you do the social media stuff? Can you do all of these things? Or you were just really focused on design? Or they have you doing everything?
It was pretty much just design there. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I went in. I haven't really done too much other stuff besides what I try to do on my freelance end, just to help myself.
Okay. And what made you start to get into design, I guess, to begin with?
Well, I guess when most people as a kid just drawing a lot, and I was a big athlete, so I was always drawing Nike shoes as a kid. And
Okay.
I was home last weekend or a couple weeks ago, and I saw like all my drawings from high school, like all these little tiny Nike thumbnails and everything. So
Are
that
you a
was
sneakerhead?
I kind of was. I feel like
Okay.
running shoes aren't quite as cool, so I feel like I dropped off. Like I played basketball in college too, so I used to just love basketball shoes, but I've kind of fallen from that a little bit. But
Oh
um,
wow.
so yeah, I started, and so I've always been into sports and design. So that was I always kind of tailored those two together a little bit.
Mm, mhm.
Okay.
And it's from what I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, please. It seems to me like you've been doing print on demand before merch even existed, correct?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I started on Zazzle when I was in high
I
school,
think I think like most people, yeah.
and
They were
that
they
was
were uh-huh.
14, 15 years ago. So it was that was kind of when I was thinking about it now. It's like, oh yeah, I have been doing this for a little while,
And
and
how'd that
then
work out for you
I was
back then?
on Society 6 and maybe Redbubble kind of early on too, but just
Uh-huh.
not doing a whole lot. And same with Zazzle, I didn't have much on there. Really
Okay,
started
so
picking it up once merch came along.
I got you. So it was more of like a hobby at first, and then merch came around, and how's merch working out for you?
Good. I mean, I like it. It's still a side thing. It's not. I don't put as much effort into it as I could. I definitely spend more time freelancing and less on merch.
Sure.
But I mean, it's been a great side money for sure.
Right, right. No, I think that's great. So it's oh gosh, there was this one shirt that I saw. You know what? Let me look for it, Glenn. While I'm doing that, why don't you talk to Danielle?
And I guess I want to go back to, I guess, print and demand in general. Have you gotten into like Kindle publishing, other things like that, or mostly just freelance and also the merch side?
Mostly just freelance and merch. I keep wanting to get into KDP, but I'm like, I just feel like there's so much, and it's right now just focus on one and try to do that right. And
exactly. I think once you get caught up just trying to do all of them, you're not doing that much on any of them. So you really want to master, especially the ones that you enjoy more than anything.
For the most part, if something sells, decent on merch, I put it on TeePublic and Redbubble, and I'm mainly just on those three.
Oh, okay. And have you explored Etsy a little bit or not really?
I use Etsy a little bit, but I haven't done it for merch. I use it. I had started a Run Upstate, which is like runners in Run Upstate. It's just kind of like people in New York. It's a little community thing, and I design T-shirts for that. So I put those on Etsy. So I know how to use it. I have it set up with Printful, but I just haven't actually taken the step to do it with any merch designs yet.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
I can't find that shirt all of a sudden. So when I'll just have to ask you behind the scenes. But I had a specific question about this shirt. But going back to these are basic. Because what Glenn and we try to tell people is we had people contact us with some of the craziest stuff that they've done, thinking that they're doing justice for their artwork, and really isn't, right? They're adding all kinds of crazy, it has to be a gradient. It needs a 5 pixel stroke, needs a drop shadow, this and that. But I look at your stuff, they're clean, simple shapes, and they're really, really good designs. And again, guys, check her out. It's on Instagram, Pod Design Shop. But a lot of them are just simple, easy, symmetric shapes, and she makes them, and they work, right? They're well balanced. Again, she talks about the retro, the vintage look. Definitely something really, really cool. Now, Glenn, you asked her about Etsy. How come you haven't pursued Etsy? Because I think your particular style, I think all these would do really good on Etsy. How come you haven't pursued that more?
I just have. I don't really have a good answer. It's kind of I just haven't taken the time to do it yet, I guess. I know it's one of those things like KDP I probably should be doing, because if you already have designs done, why not?
Right, but I think your style, I think it would really, really do really good on Etsy, because it's a unique marketplace and your design is really unique, and I think it would do really good. And I if I were you, I would really think about maybe getting some of these up on Etsy just to see how they do.
Yeah, that's on my to-do list after I left my job. I was like, all right, now that I can focus on all this other stuff, that was like at the top of my list, was move all my sellers to Etsy, and I'll put that back on the top of the list.
No, seriously, Danielle, I think you would do really good. So was there a reason why you left your day job? You just wanted to pursue your own career doing design?
Yeah, well, I had my daughter, and so for one, it was hard to go back to work after that, and then it also was, if I can do this for myself, it just doesn't make sense to work for anyone else. The freedom of your own hours and deciding what projects you work on is just,
Is your husband a designer, or is just you?
No, he's the opposite. He's an engineer.
He's a numbers guy.
Yeah.
When did you? So first off, are you a Bills fan?
Oh yes, of course.
Of course, she's a Bills fan.
Hold on. Now, how did you get into the job with the Bills? Was it? And how long were you there for?
After we went to school in Rochester, New York, and then we moved to Kentucky for a few years. And when we were in Kentucky, we're like, all right, let's try to move a little closer to home. And so I saw a job opening at the Bills, so I applied, and it was just like a contract, couple month long position. Didn't get that, and then we moved up here, and I got the job at New Era. And then I was only at New Era for maybe 5 months, and the guy that I interviewed with said, "Hey, I have an opening. I want you to apply." So I did, and he was my boss, and the guy was there for 3.5 years, I think it was. So
okay,
it's good. I love sports, so that was my dream job. So it was awesome to have that. And
Yeah. Did you have to do anything like on actual game day or anything you can do?
I didn't. I mean, we feel like for somehow the creative team was like the only team that got away with not having to work the games. I mean, like my boss sometimes had to work the scoreboard, but for the most part, we got out of it. Everyone else, they're running around on golf carts during the game, just miscellaneous jobs. But we never had to work game stuff. During the draft, that was always live working, so that was always fun.
Oh yeah.
It's funny as soon as you find out who the player is, they send you a quick message, and you got to put it out on 20 different graphics super quick so they can get them posted. And that was always a fun little rush job.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you had like 5 players maybe in mind that they would probably draft, and you have to like just get them ready and pump those designs out.
Yeah,
and that's awesome.
It was always just like such a rush. It was always really fun. That was like, I missed that this year. I was like, oh man, like I'm not on Slack. I don't know who we're gonna pick like 30 seconds before everyone else.
Have you ever been to the draft?
No, I haven't.
I've been to the draft. It was about 6-7 years ago. I went to the draft, and it's one of those things that if you've never done it, I would say, and if you're a huge football fan and you've never done it, I would say definitely go. But it's really not all that fun in my opinion. Like when I went, it was really just sitting there, and then you're in the middle of a crowd, and and there's like different pockets. You got the Eagles fans here, the 49er fans here. There's like different pockets of fans, and then it's just so weird because like every 30 minutes, someone's cheering, because someone got drafted or booing, and that's it. That's it. Okay.
Like, oh yeah, I've heard of that name once. Okay, let's wait another 30 minutes.
Yeah, I can look them up.
So I would say if you've never done it, and if you're a true football fan, I would say definitely go. Just to scratch it off the bucket list. But it's just, it wasn't very exciting.
Well, I think 7 years ago, the draft was like all like a lot of them were on one day. It wasn't like 3 rounds on one day.
No, man.
The next one was like 4 rounds.
It was like 2 or 3 days. I remember. I only went to the first day.
Because now it's like round 1 is one day, and then 2 and 3 another day, and like they really separated out so that people wouldn't get so tired. So I think 7 years ago, maybe.
No, man. When I went, it was like 3 days, dude.
3 full days. Oh, then maybe.
Yeah. And I went the first day. It was cool. I don't even know why we're talking about the draft all of a sudden.
We were talking Buffalo Bills.
But yeah, no, it was super cool because I had some inside NFL connections, and I was able to go backstage, got to meet like Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson when he was still playing, obviously. So that was a really cool experience. But and that was still in New York City at the time. At the I don't remember the venue. All of a sudden, it's where the Rockets perform.
Right. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the venue, but no, that's super cool. That's super cool. So so it sounds like you're getting more jobs doing freelance work. Is that the same? I mean, are you consistently getting work? Because look, I'm not gonna lie, Glenn, and I'm sure you can relate. Doing freelance work is very difficult. Getting the client part is very hard.
Yeah, and I that's kind of something I've always wanted to do, but just really the last year it's been working for me, and I think
it's been working out good.
And I think a lot with that is Instagram. I try to post a lot, and I try to connect with fellow designers and fellow companies that have a similar style, and because that was something I'm like, well, I'm never gonna be able to go out on my own because really it's so hard to get clients. But then I just really focused on that, and then when merch came along, that helped cushion the money, and so I was able to. I think I get most clients from Instagram and Dribble.
Mm-hmm. For Glenn, how do you normally get word of mouth, right, Glenn?
Yeah, that sometimes I go to like my website if they see some of the work, or they come across like older videos, YouTube videos or something. So
yeah, because one thing I've noticed, especially for my my web work, my web design stuff, I've noticed a lot of my freelance work is coming from word of mouth, the website, but I think you're also doing it the right way by posting on a regular basis. And again, and you do, because like I said, you're someone that I've been following. Even though I might not comment, I do, I do notice your work, and I really do like it.
We didn't even get to ask about your merch, like numbers and journey and anything. So
is that something you want to share, Danielle?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So I guess yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna ask. What's your numbers like? What's your last 7 days?
Let's see.
And I guess like
last
tier
7 days.
Dude, if it's something ridiculous, I'm ending the show
It's
now.
not. 51 royalties, 244.18 cents.
That's not bad for someone who hasn't been really focusing on it.
I'm on the 4,000 tier.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
And I've been on it for probably, I think I started about 2 years ago. I think it was spring.
When was the last time you uploaded onto merch?
A couple days ago.
A couple days ago. And a couple days ago, how many designs did you put up?
Probably 2 or 3, but with the beta uploader, I put it into everything.
Okay. Are these I'm kind of curious because again, you have a very unique style. Is this are they doing pretty good on? I mean, like if I was to look up Pod Design Shop, would I find your designs, or are they hidden under some random business?
Yeah, I just have random names.
Okay.
I would say, not that. I don't know. I guess some of my designs do well, some of them don't. It's like I'd say that some of the stuff that sells, it's stuff I would never wear. It's it's just more maybe not quite, maybe not stuff I would post in my Instagram. Mm-hmm. So it's not always. Unfortunately, I think the design isn't always great. I have plenty of great sellers that are just text.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I think again, and this is just my own opinion. I would really encourage that you at least try with your best sellers and see how they do on Etsy, because you'll be really surprised. Because when I did that when I did that on Etsy, I would sell stuff that people never even bought on merch. Yeah. All of a sudden, you put them on Etsy, and they're like your #1 seller.
And I could see that being the case, because some stuff that's more designed. If someone just wants a $15 T-shirt on Amazon, they don't.
Right.
Where at Etsy, they're willing to pay for it. And
right. Because I've always compared merch by Amazon, and it's not me bashing them. Okay, it's just my own opinion. I've always considered merch by Amazon. It's like Target or Walmart, right? It's just convenient. You can go and get a T-shirt, whatever. But if you want something very specific, something again that's handmade, obviously it's not the design's handmade, but you guys get what I'm saying. Something that's unique, right? Obviously Etsy would be the marketplace, and I think again with your designs, I think you have a really, really good. I think that's a marketplace that you can really take advantage of. Yeah. Get your husband to do it. Put him to work.
He's not good on computers.
Did you say he's not good with computers?
Yeah.
He's an engineer. Come on. No, I think this is great. Glenn, did you have any more questions?
I guess before we go, anything you want to say as far as we talk about how good and clean, your design work and your ideas are, but why? I guess we should let them know, people that are listening, like, why do they work so well? And I guess when you're designing on a T-shirt, what maybe like some simple things that you like to stick to?
Yeah, I think with T-shirts, if I have a design that I like, I probably will change it a little bit for a T-shirt and actually have less colors. A lot of my top sellers are probably one color designs. Breaking them down that way. And I do a lot of stuff with, and you can see on my page, I do a lot of like badges and stuff, and that's just easy to put on a shirt. And then it also works when you get on Redbubble and TeePublic, because then it can go on any product. Just kind of slap it on there. I sell a lot of stickers, and I think when people over design and they put too much work into it, it just gets messy. And when I have the simpler stuff, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's that it looks complete, it looks done, it looks, a little more professional, and I think that's why they sell a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I think putting things into badges, like definitely like the different shapes. I mean, even if it is simple square, circle, but there's other things here that, once you put everything inside, the clean design inside whatever shape that is, then you can just put that on the shirt and it works in whatever color you want. So I think people will definitely see those examples, once they go through your work.
And then with the badges too, I can just change. If I want a different niche, you can just change text. You can just, it's really simple. And I definitely do that a lot with something. If it's a simple outdoor design, then I can do ultra running, I can do trail running, I can do mountain biking, I can do hiking, I can do camping, just by changing the words.
Is there any sport that you don't do? Do you ultimate fight? Are you an ultimate fighter? I think she can take us on, Glenn.
I bet.
I think she can kick our asses. Danielle, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm really enjoying your work. I wish you much success. When's your race?
August 4th.
August 4th. We're going to be cheering you on. We'll definitely be on the sideline because there's no way in hell I'll be in that race with you, but we'll be on the sidelines rooting for you for sure. Much success to you. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, great interview, and I like your style. I like the design. Buffalo Bills thing is pretty cool too. I mean, getting into like NFL, NBA, like professional sports jobs always like interest me, but I wonder like how many other projects they have going on at once. I like the little draft story. It seemed pretty cool.
I've done work for a couple of NFL players.
Okay. Like their personal business or what are they or
yeah, just work for just some stuff for them. Personally, nothing for the team. But yeah, you're right. I think it would be super cool to actually get hired by a team. I think I've applied for the 49ers in the past. Those rat bastards never called me. So I'm no longer a 49ers fan. I'm now a Buffalo Bills fan.
Buffalo Bills.
I've never met a Bills fan. No, I'll take that back because Matt Carlett is a Bills fan.
Oh, he is? I didn't even know.
Well, he's from out there, right? He's from out there. So I'll take that back. But yeah, no, that's to me that would be like a dream job to like work for the team that you've always rooted for and grown up with. I think that would be like a dream job, right?
Yeah, until you realize how much work you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin's a Buffalo Bills fan. Like he grew up Bills, and I'm a Dolphins fan, so we never like.
I don't know how that freaking works out, dude. Okay, you still haven't given me like a decent explanation of how that is.
How I'm a Dolphins fan or why?
Yeah.
I told you I was just like, growing up all about Dan Marino. And then I was just like, man, like this guy's just lighting it up. So I was just a huge fan. Now all my friends and family were just all Cowboys, and so I had to go against the system. And so
you were like the black sheep.
I chose Miami and fell in love with it, but then we haven't won anything since I've followed them. So I don't know if that actually helped or not.
Clearly it hasn't. But no, I grew up obviously a 49er fan, and I do cheer on for I do cheer for the Raiders as well, only because they are in the Bay Area for the time being. Obviously, they're moving to Vegas, which I think is stupid. Just anything Vegas, man, it's just dumb. And but yeah, great show, great interview with Danielle.
And look, this is a tough time right now because there's no football and there's no basketball.
There's no football, there's no basketball. I do you watch boxing?
Not really.
I'm a huge boxing fan as well. So we had a fight this past weekend. That was okay.
So there you go. Time to upload now that there's no sports.
No, I got other things to do, man.
All right,
You know,
sounds good.
if there's anyone that should be uploading, it's you.
That's partially true.
That's very true.
Oh man! All right. Well, maybe we got some time before football starts, so I
Good
can.
stuff.
Yeah, I can work on that.
All right, man. Well, we'll catch up next week.
All right. See ya.